morning and welcome to Channel 2. In today's news, we have presenting Andres, Ken, Angelica, and Crystal. They're going to tell us what's going on in the world, talking about sports, health, music, fashion, business, and the first one is Andres. Yes, Andres. Good morning. Today in sport news, we have what's happening with Simone Biles after the Olympics. The last Olympics that were presented in Tokyo, that was supposed to be Olympics 2020, but because COVID that couldn't happen, and they present that edition this year, 2021, brought many surprises to the United States. One of the unexpected news was the withdrawal of the athlete Simone Biles. The majority of people from the United States and around the world know who is Simone Biles. But if you don't know, Simone Biles is a gymnast from the United States team, and she is the number one. She's 24 years old and she has won 7 medals in the Olympics, 4 golds and 1 bronze in Rio de Janeiro 2016, and in the last edition she won 1 bronze and 1 silver. What everyone is talking on social media is the reason why Simone Biles decided to retire from the Olympics. The reason was her mental health. Many support her with the decision. However, there are those who criticize her and give her opinions on the matter. One example of the negative opinions comes from the famous tennis Djokovic, that is from Spain. He is the number 1 around the world. Also, here I have some comments from social media like Twitter. One tweet says, "It's a miracle that she landed on her feet in the bar exercise." Simone withdrew from 5 of the 6 finals that she had in Tokyo. This was after the athlete did not perform well in her vacuum exercise, because she decided after that to focus on her mental health. Another comment that I have here from Instagram, another social media, and it comes from a fan. It says that her decision was the best one because her life is better than a medal and is first than a medal. And yes, that's true, because if you don't know, gymnastics sport is one of the difficult but also dangerous sport. Many athletes in the past have suffered from many serious injuries and have even become paraplegic. She confessed this on time, like she wanna focus on mental health, but in the past many athletes couldn't because they decide to go in the finals, and you can search online athletes that have suffering injuries from gymnastics or that are paraplegic. Right now you can find many cases, and yes, that's true. So in my personal opinion, that was her best decision in this Olympics. Simone Biles not only has physical strength but also mental health. After what happened, Simone Biles has been working on her mental health, but also she gave some interviews. In the last interview with Tears, she said that the gymnastic world is her life, but also she said that is working on a project about mental health. She wants to help a lot of athletes that have problems with mental health, because she knows that this is serious and this is a big problem, and that the mental health is not a joke, that this is real. And also she's sharing time with her family, friends, and say that she's not taking a break in the gymnastics, but for now she's well. And yes, thank you. We go with Ken, that we have some news about health, that she's going to tell us what's happening. Yes, thank you and bye.
Thank you, Andres, for your information about sports. That remind me, people usually hungry for salty snacks while watching sports. Now I'm going to talking about the salt poisoning news. A young mukbanger has finished everything, includes the juice in a 1 gallon of pickled cucumber juice as her eating challenge. This pickled cucumber have about 2,480 grams of sodiums, and the pickled juice has about 10 grams of sodiums. Likely, she ate 32 grams of tablespoon on that day. This brings to the conclusion that she has a high sodium presence in her blood. But how does she feel bloated? Why does her body feel stiff? And why does she voted a lot of gallons of liquid from her body but not a gallon? Well, a person would need to eat 0.2 to 0.5 grams of salt per pound of their body weight for being little. For example, like a man weighing 54 pounds, he would have to consume 35 grams of salt, experience little levels. This causes salt poisoning, also known as hypernatremia. According to Mowbray, a new study estimates 1.65 million deaths a year are attributable to sodium intake. When the doctors arrive in the emergency room, she quickly begins to lose consciousness and have a seizure. She has a water that flows out of her body for hours. Well, interesting that the water flows toward the sodium. So the sodium absorbed from the small intestines to her blood and sucking out of her organs and her brain. This leads to the result that not only a gallon of pickled juice, but there's a more water drawn to her gut. She feels bloated. She has less total body weight water after voting hours on the toilet, but so she's stiff because her muscles lost water and begin to stretch. If we lost something, we can replace the same thing. This brings to a clue that which is to replace the huge amount of water, so that her body has water to dilute the sodium out of the body. It was very lucky that she's safe and recovered well. In general, American adult is on average about 3,400 milligrams of sodium per each day. That amount is more than 1,000 milligrams per day as a recommendation of adult limit sodiums. For children, they need about 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams sodium per day. Well, people would ask who is at risk of salt poisoning. The answer is kids. They have tiny, weak bodies to handle too much sodium or salt. You may not know that there's plenty of cases of killing their own children via salt overdose. According to Rennie, a South Carolina mother killed her own children's 7-year-old daughter by feeding her 1 tablespoon of salt. And in another case, in 2015, a 20-year-old mom poisoned her 5-year-old son to death with salt in Kentucky. Mentally, this research and 14 cases range under 15 years old. Half of it are lethal by salt toxicity. Especially, you should be aware of feeding your kids with a string that improperly made formula. Let's begin to avoid high sodium foods. Smoked, cured, salted, or canned meat, fish, or poultry such as bacon, ham, sausage, or sardine have the highest sodium. The second is frozen burritos and pizza. The next is the canned spam and chili. Well, people use salt to cook and keep it in the fridge for a long term and even sanitize the food. Now your car should have the low sodium products like frozen meat or veggies, eggs, milk, unsalted butter, and fresh vegetarians. Fast food is used a good amount of salt to make it crispy, but you should avoid eating every day. Now let's have Angelica talk about the investing in a small business. Thank you.
Wow, Cam, I did not realize I could be salt poisoned. Next time, I will watch how much salt I put on my fries. Speaking of salt, large businesses may be feeling a bit salty with how smaller businesses have boomed during the pandemic. As a consumer, how often do you invest in products from a small business? During the pandemic, as we all know in the United States, we have had a lot of time in our hands. And this has forced people to find other sources of income. And also now, people are able to express talents and ideas to work hard into creating amazing businesses today. People are becoming more entrepreneurs than working for the boss, and they're tired of working 9 to 5 jobs that require more work than pay. Women and men are sharing the interest in making money out of something they truly enjoy, which is a dream job for many. And with social media, businesses can expand even more and be known to the public, where online sites are created from the comfort of one's home. Small businesses have worked hard to promote themselves on social media and other platforms to boost their recognition, so their businesses are able to grow. With platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, small businesses are able to showcase their brand and be more known to the public and create a loyal audience. And what people do not know is how much time it takes to maintain a business, even if it's small. During the pandemic, there may have been time, but now that everything has opened back up again, it has been more difficult for the small businesses to thrive post pandemic. People make it seem easy on social media, but there's a lot that goes through maintaining a business that many people overlook, such as revenue, filing taxes, customer service, and much more. And many of these smaller businesses have a few to one employee, most of the time just the owner. And it's not easy keeping relevancy in this high demand economy either. Unless you become a full time entrepreneur, it's difficult to keep a business thriving. While larger businesses are making a comeback, advertising themselves and making themselves more available and affordable to the public to keep their loyal customers, small businesses are being overlooked once again. There's competition between businesses all over, and that is why it's important to take into consideration the smaller businesses that work hard with their products. From women doing nails and applying lashes to men creating fitness plans and gyms, people are creating businesses from anything possible, including a restaurant or a small boutique. Much of the rise in small businesses has been in the retail sector where people are creating their own products. Small businesses have been around always, but people are taking a different approach and are focusing on the internet to sell products. As for other small businesses that require shopping in person, it has been difficult for those businesses to open back up again because of the pandemic. It's amazing how many ideas people can come up with, and people using their time in a productive manner have also been able to make a compensation from this pandemic. There was an explosion in new business applications reaching nearly 4.5 million by the year 2020, a 24.3% increase from 2019. New business applications in the retail sector rose by 54% between 2019 and 2020. Americans today are demonstrating perseverance even if everything seems to be falling apart. Americans are taking charge instead of working for someone else, and are also becoming their own boss, inspiring others and young Americans to do so regardless of age. Even college students, who may not have known what career they wanted, find a different approach into business and entrepreneurship. Not everyone is made to be a boss, but many people have taken the chance to try it out, and as you can see, business has sparked a great interest. There is even a month dedicated to small businesses. As of the year 2020, every May. Now, how wonderful is that? Although that should not stop you from buying from small businesses, they should always be supported regardless of what month it is. I say take a look into a small business. You might find something you like, or even better, become a loyal customer. Enough about small businesses. Now let's hear about what Crystal has to say about what's trending in 2021.
Thank you very much, Angela. It makes me want to start my very own business myself. Music, fashion, and video games are some of the most trending topics in pop culture. With a huge audience captivated and memorized by music artists, fashion designers, and game creators, we will dive in and scope out the top 3 trends for each category. In music category, we have the top 3 trending songs from the 40 biggest hits of 2021. The first one is Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, hitting number 1 in the chart. Also, the second biggest hit is Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo. Wow, the 2 greatest hit songs hit second and first place in the top 40. The third one is Bad Habit by Ed Sheeran. Everyone did such a wonderful job in the music industry. Is it getting cold outside for you yet? Well, if so, what's trending in fashion is oversized sweater pad boyfriend jackets. And while you're at it, make sure you are wearing those big boyfriend jeans and long sleeve shirts, since that's the style for 2021 this season. Speaking of season, gentlemen, if you did not know, the jean jacket styles are back. And in case you did not know, guess what's back trending for hairstyle? The knob and mullet. Yes, I said it. The knob and mullet are making a comeback. Lastly, for video games, for you nerds out there, here are the top 3 video games that are trending this year in 2021. One of the top 12 popular games that are trending this year, hitting number 1s in the chart, is Call of Duty Warzone. Call of Duty Warzone is available for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC right now. The second place is Minecraft. It's on all types of console, and is still to this day surprisingly still trending. Lastly, coming on third place is Animal Crossing New Horizon for Nintendo Switch. These are the most trending games for 2021. These are what's trending for 2021 on music, fashion, and video games. And I'm your host, Chris O'Connell, on Public Speaking News on Channel 2. Thank you for watching and have a good night, you guys.